What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Tori Amos. Thank you again to Nigel. We're returning to Boys for Pele, 1996, and the next track is Mr. Zebra, which is not a lot to work with in terms of speculating about the title. I would only observe that zebras famously have that two-color pattern, so maybe it's someone who has multiple colors to their personality or to their behavior, and those that stand in stark contrast, black and white, are often used as diametric opposites. And so Mr. Zebra, I might conclude, or at least hypothesize, would be someone whose behavior is erratic or contradictory or polar in terms of its character or the reliability of their attitude or their, again, actions. So I'll see what I can catch on the first listen. It's an interesting title. This is Tori Amos. The track is Mr. Zebra, and it's from her 1996 album Boys for Pele.
Hello, Mr. Zebra, can I have your sweater? 'Cause it's cold, cold, cold in my hole. Ratatouille, strychnine, sometimes she's a friend of mine with a gigantic whirlpool that will blow your mind. Hello, Mr. Zebra, right into some confusion with a Mrs. Crocodile, very much as marching on. She thinks she's guys a real amorous, I sit about to blow your mind. Figure it out, she's a good fella. She got a little fun to fight for money, pennies, rights. Figure it out, she's a good fella. Too bad Marianne was premature, she said and smiled.
That's it? Oh, holy smokes, it's like a minute long. Well, maybe I'm going to do the next track too, but let me just think about this. I actually didn't catch most of the lines. I did hear the phrase blow your mind, which I feel like that did, despite its short duration. Okay, so it definitely has a bit of a jazzy feel, almost like an improv jazz dynamic. I enjoy the keyboard or the piano, which is sort of light and playful. There's some brass in there, so it's a bit of a small jazz ensemble feel. Her vocals are dynamic. They speed up and slow down. They shoot up melodically and then come back down. I don't know exactly what's happening, but certainly there seemed to be a depiction of something that was shocking, unusual, or otherwise unexpected. That typically is what relates to someone's mind being blown, though I don't know if that was the actions or statements of the narrator, but yes, it certainly sounds like there's an incredible or otherwise striking event or process or circumstance that has caused someone's mind to be blown. There were some other tidbits that I caught, but I was so struck by the short duration and the enjoyable sonic configuration that by the time it ended suddenly, my brain sort of scattered the other little tidbits I heard. But yeah, a really remarkable song in terms of the charisma or power that it packed into such a short duration with such a light arrangement. So yes, like multiple Tori songs thus far have been these multi-phase journeys where I'm catching a bit more of the narrative, and even if there's a lot of poetry or symbology or symbolism better that I can't quite read on a first listen, they're more like lengthy sagas. So I was so struck by this one, and maybe my mind was, what's the right word, like I got hit with a flashbang, if you will, because it was so strikingly different from a number of other tunes thus far. And once again, I will fall back on what a couple people have said, that interpreting the songs on this album, it's not easy, and there's songs that longtime fans and people who've heard the songs many times continue to pore over and to try to read between the lines and interpret. So yes, I will take refuge in that, but obviously I will re-listen. In any case, it was so short. Let's give the next track a listen as well, which is Marianne. So, yes, let us listen to Marianne, which is a single word title and a name at that, so I won't speculate about it in advance. Very beautiful tune. Like immediately, within 10 seconds of it starting, I had this feeling of the sonics and the piano melody that it sounded like a sad memory, but also one that bore some nostalgia. And so then it seemed immediately like there was some line which I took to be figurative right away about, was it like blubber inside an igloo, which sounds like we're talking, Aleut indigenous peoples and Arctic environments, but then she's talking about a young pigtailed girl that others are saying killed herself, and this young Marianne, the narrator's saying like, no, that can't be, that can't be. And then what was the line that, oh, she was so pretty, why would she crawl down? And I didn't know quite how to take the crawl down line, but, maybe stay out of sight or, not wanting to be seen. But I was thinking, I think there's songs with lyrics that speak to this, but there's I watch a lot of Japanese television drama, and there's an actress, Takashi Yuko, who she committed suicide, and there was a lot of shock in Japanese society because it was like, wait, she's very pretty, she's very successful, prolific actress, she's recently married, she has a young child, she had it all, how could she possibly kill herself? And, not only were there some people publicly who commented in this regard, but my immediate thought was, well, you don't know what's behind someone's life, you don't know how they're feeling inside, and maybe things aren't so simple as, well, I have everything going for me, everything's just fine. So with that line that, she's so pretty, how could she crawl down, or indeed, if she did kill herself, despite the incredulity of the narrator, maybe there's more going on emotionally, maybe there's turmoil and emotional toil behind what looks superficially or externally like a placid and very enjoyable situation. So, yes, maybe the narrator's inability to comprehend or, again, rejection of the idea that she killed herself doesn't necessarily mean that she didn't. But as the song went along, I found myself more entranced by Tori's vocals and the way, even though there was more, let's say, traditionally elegant singing on this one, there's still those moments where, she stops suddenly, or you can feel a bit of the breath in her delivery. There's still this, very natural human quality to her vocal delivery. And so the vocal performance here was dynamic and more, let's say, again, naturally melodic. There were still some moments where it felt like her very unique and charismatic style of singing was still coming across. And then we have these strings, these sweeping, beautiful strings in conjunction with the piano, which, again, the piano, more forte at certain moments, then more soft and delicate and piano at other moments, and then blending and mixing with the string composition. So, yeah, I found myself in the latter half of the tune more fixated on the overall musical, vocal, and sonic atmosphere, and so I didn't quite catch as much of the lyrics in the second half, but a very striking tune, a very beautiful tune, also seemingly a melancholy tune, and one perhaps contrasting what has happened and is going on in the present with this visual and emotional memory of a younger Marianne, or maybe she only lived to be young, but yes, a past circumstance that is no more. So yeah, really curious to hear what people have to say about both these songs, but in particular Marianne. So let me know, and I will see you next time. Peace.